Picture this. You are on a relaxing vacation, exploring new sites, tasting exotic cuisines, and creating unforgettable memories. But in the back of your mind, there's that nagging question: how much am I actually spending? You try to keep track, but between the hassle of manually typing out the details and the sheer excitement of your adventures, it quickly becomes a jumble of numbers and guesses. What if there was a way to effortlessly track your expenses without taking away from the joy of your travels? Well, fellow wanderers, your wish has been granted. We are excited to introduce to you a travel expense tracker app available in both iOS and Android, brought to you by Lawrence, Rebecca, and Jefferson. Our app is designed with one goal in mind: to give travelers like you a simple way to track how much you are spending on each trip and where. It's not about restricting your spending or turning your vacation into a budgeting exercise. It's about giving you the peace of mind to fully enjoy your travels, knowing that you can easily keep an eye on your expenses. Imagine effortlessly logging your expenses as you go, seeing exactly where your money went on the map, and having a clear picture of your spending for each unique adventure. Whether you are island hopping in Greece, backpacking through Southeast Asia, or road tripping across the USA, our app adapts to your journey. In the next few minutes, we are going to take you on a virtual trip. We'll show you how our app can enhance your travel experience by simplifying expense tracking. So grab your virtual passport and let's embark on this journey together. We are going on a 2-week trip across California, and I'll show you how our travel and expense tracker app works in real-world scenarios. Here is the demo of the app on an iOS device. Upon opening the app, we arrive at the login page. New users need to click on Create an Account to start tracking, and enter their emails to receive a verification email to register and create a password. After the registration process, you can then sign in with your email and password. Let's now navigate to the home page and create our first trip by tapping either on the Create button or the plus button, and then we'll need to enter the trip information. Let me first change the trip cover image to this stunning skyline. I'll name our trip California with the description 2 weeks exploring California. I'll use the default currency USD, but you can always change it if needed. Next, the trip starts the day and will end in 2 weeks. Save and then create. Our first trip is now ready. You can always tap on the gear button to modify the trip information, just like this. California Adventure, and the trip name would be changed. We just landed in Southern California and went to the grocery store for some drinks, and we are now ready to log our first expense. I'll tap on the camera button on the trip we just created. The camera opens and I'm taking the photo of the receipt. And confirm. The OCR and AI are now extracting the details of the receipt, including the merchant's name, the date, and the location. I'll create the expense. And we can see or modify the expense if we tap details. We spent 1 week exploring Southern California and are now on our way to the north. Let's check our expenses. On the expense details page, we can see entries for the hotel, meals, and attraction tickets. I've explored so many great restaurants in SoCal, and now I want to bookmark some of them in case a friend asks for recommendations. I don't want to forget any of these amazing spots. First, I can click on the filter button and select food to narrow down. And I want to bookmark this amazing brunch place and this delicious Thai restaurant. And now if we go back and navigate to the store page, we can see that these expenses are now bookmarked for quick reference in the future. After spending another week in the Bay Area, let's view our trip on the map via the map button on the trip card. Here we can see all our expenses plotted across California. Each pin represents an expense, giving us a visual journey of the trip. We can tap on the expense list below to navigate the map to specific expenses. Clicking on the marker will also display some information about it. If I want to take a closer look at my expenses in San Jose specifically, I can simply search San Jose, and the map will move to give me a localized view of San Jose. We are back home now, reminiscing about our California adventure. We can see there are a total of 14 expenses, and by clicking on the eye icon, we can see the total amount we spent. Oops, I accidentally deleted the adventure. No worries, we can go to the inbox page where it shows a list of user actions. If I tap on revert, the trip is now back. We can revert the action as long as it's within 24 hours of deletion. And there you have it. We've journeyed across California, effortlessly tracking our expenses along the way. It's designed to make expense tracking simple and intuitive, so you can focus on making memories. Our development process was structured in several key phases. We started with the backend architecture, which took about a week. During this time, we designed the overall backend structure and identified key APIs, including RabbitMQ for message queuing. We also modularized the APIs to make future modifications easier. Next, we moved into user interface design, which also took a week. We used Wizard, an AI-powered UI design tool, to generate basic page layouts. From there, we assigned specific pages to each team member and conducted design meetings to ensure consistency and gather feedback from the team. Once the design was finalized, we spent 3 weeks on front-end development, where we implemented the UI using Flutter. After that, we entered the app publication phase, which lasted 2 weeks. During this time, we released the app for public beta testing on both Android and iOS platforms. The remaining time was dedicated to feedback and iteration. We gathered user feedback from friends, family, and volunteers from our UPenn Slack channel, and we continuously improved the front end based on their input. Overall, this structured approach allowed us to efficiently develop, test, refine our application. To maximize our user testing reach, we made sure the app was accessible to the public on both iOS and Android platforms. This broad availability allowed us to gather valuable feedback, especially around the account creation process. One key issue users highlighted was that the email address entry step was confusing, with no clear indication of how to proceed. In response, we made several improvements. We redesigned the entire account creation flow to make it more intuitive. We also ensured that navigation buttons were more prominent and consistent throughout the process. Additionally, we added brief error messages to clearly explain any incorrectly entered information. These changes significantly improved the user experience during account setup, directly addressing the issues that were spotted. Our journey in developing the Travel Expense Tracker app has been both challenging and rewarding. As a team, we faced the exciting task of creating a user-friendly application that could seamlessly handle complex operations like OCR for receipt scanning and expense locking. One of the biggest challenges was learning Flutter for the first time to develop the front end. This required us to quickly adapt to a new framework and language, but it also allowed us to create a beautiful, responsive interface that works smoothly on both Android and iOS platforms. The learning curve was steep, but the result was a sleek, cross-platform app that exceeded our initial expectations. Working with a diverse tech stack taught us the importance of integration and how different components of an application come together. From designing the UI with Wizard to setting up our backend with Node.js and Express, each step presented its own unique challenges and learning opportunities. We found that clear communication and week-based sprints were key to managing the complexity of our tech stack. A particularly interesting aspect of our development process was implementing RabbitMQ for handling email verifications when users sign up. This message queuing system allowed us to manage the email verification process asynchronously, ensuring that our app remains responsive even when dealing with a high volume of new user registrations. Our DevOps experience with Docker and CI/CD pipelines using GitHub Actions gave us valuable insights into modern development practices and the importance of automation in the development lifecycle. This project proved to be a valuable experience in honing our collaborative skills. We learned to recognize and capitalize on each team member's unique strengths, fostering an environment where constructive feedback was welcomed and encouraged. This approach helped us work together effectively even when confronted with complex technical challenges. Our communication strategy was multifaceted and adaptive. We relied heavily on WeChat for asynchronous communication, allowing us to stay connected and share updates flexibly. Our weekly sprint calls served as checkpoints, ensuring no one was stuck on a particular problem and helping us maintain momentum. The team's responsiveness was impressive, with everyone quick to reply to messages and genuinely eager to help one another. We also recognized the value of face-to-face interaction. We organized several in-person pair coding sessions, which turned out to be highly productive. These meetings allowed us to communicate and solve problems in real time, leading to efficient problem-solving and rapid progress. Reflecting on our project, we've identified several areas for improvement and expansion. A key change we will implement is integrating a small front-end database from the outset. Our current approach stores data in memory, which could lead to performance issues as user activity increases. Retrofitting a front-end database now would require extensive code restructuring, a task we would prioritize if given additional 4 months. Beyond this fundamental change, we envision enhancing the app with more advanced features. These include developing comprehensive expense dashboards and introducing sophisticated budgeting tools. For instance, we'd like to implement alerts that notify users when they are approaching budget limits, as well as features to help plan category-specific spending before trips. Additionally, we recognize the value of interconnectivity. We aim to develop a system that can sync expenses from Apple Pay transactions, allowing users to consolidate all their travel-related spending in one place. This would provide a more holistic view of their financial activities during trips. These improvements will significantly enhance the app's functionality and user experience, making it a more robust and versatile tool for travelers managing their expenses.